That's you, sis.
Y'all disappeared and everything. Here we go. Pre-primary blitz, claim the seat, face the people. This is episode 2 from Council to Control. This week is about proximity to power. Councilman Andre Spicer is already in the system, already making decisions, already navigating city politics. Now he's asking to lead the entire city. So the question becomes, what happens when you go from participant to person in charge? BVBOE is exploring the reality that many young people don't see. How leadership shifts when responsibility increases, whether being made inside the system makes you more effective or more constrained, and how leaders balance community expectations versus political realities. For young people watching, this is critical. Not everyone enters leadership from the outside. Some arise from within. But the real question is, can you transform the system or do you end up maintaining it?
Baby. Baby.
We in here. Yeah, we in here. 'Cause we been.
Y'all better get comfortable with saying black.
We in here. Yeah, we in here.
Black versus the Board of Education.
'Cause we came here. Rid of us now. We in here. Yeah, we in here. 'Cause we came here. Rid of us now. And you know that we know and we're going to do what you know.
That's why we are indeed a whole mood.
That's it.
Happy Monday, and welcome to another episode of Black versus the Board of Education. My name is Miss Laureen, and I'm the captain of the ship. And as usual, I like for you to know who's in the seats, having the conversation with you. But before we do that, we are talking from Council to Control. As Miss Patrice said, this is episode 2 of our pre-primary blitz. We're talking to candidates vying for your vote. And with that, I want to let you know who's in here. So right next to me is
Mr. Fox. How's everybody doing out there?
Mr. Fox is in the building, and right across from him,
Mr. Chastain, happy to be here.
Mr. Chastain is here, and you heard from her at the top of the hour, but go ahead and introduce yourself, ma'am.
Patrice Hill, director of SAYS, and somebody that really cares deeply about the future and the trajectories and the current of Black children and Black communities.
And today we are joined by a very special guest. I see on his tag, it says Mayor Pro Tem of Compton, the city of Compton. Andre Spicer is in the building. And so before we get
Are we on right now? Because I can't hear anything.
You can't hear? Oh,
I don't know
no.
where we're at. I couldn't hear anything that was going on.
Oh, my goodness. Well, yes, we are on right now. Can you hear me now? No? All right. Let me see if we can't fix that, because that's what I be trying to do before we start to chat. However, what we will do is I'm going to ask him to go out and come back in. And Miss Patrice, while we're waiting for that, tell us about Friday. Tell us about what we had going on Friday.
Word, give thanks. So Friday was the 15th annual SAYS Summit College Day, which is a culturally relevant college experience for middle and high school students in the Sacramento region. We bring young people to UC Davis. There was about 350 young people in the building, and they experience a college day that's rooted in literacy, social justice, arts education, educational workshops, and a day really tailored to helping young people envision their college journey, but also that they deserve to be in spaces like UC Davis, and they deserve to experience higher institutions and the university in a culturally relevant way. We were honored to be supported by BYLP. We had a podcast segment there with the young people that was facilitated by Melissa. And it had other young people, recent college graduates, as well as current college students, to really give a firsthand perspective on what it means to navigate the institution and still stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
And you know, I just, you know, this is the 15th year we've done it at UC Davis. It's always a lift, but it's always so inspiring to see the young people really enjoy themselves. But to have y'all on board this year in a different capacity was really powerful, and I'm really thankful, and I'm just so grateful for the work we're continuing to do together.
I love it. Councilman Spicer, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys now. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
wonderful. Welcome to the Black versus Board of Education. We want you to introduce yourself because we have a lot of conversation or a lot of questions we want to get to
Okay.
in order to facilitate a well-rounded conversation. So please, the floor is yours.
Thank you for that. Thanks for the opportunity, and thank you guys for having me on your platform. My name is Andre Spicer. I am the councilman in the second district in the city of Compton. I also serve as the mayor pro tem for the city of Compton. I've been in office now for roughly 4 years, going on 4 years. I originally ran for office back in 2021 and was
Mhm.
told I lost by one vote. Um,
I mean, but did you?
I did not. I did
Okay.
not.
Okay. But did you? Let's
Some
tell them who was voting.
Yeah, man. A lady gave me a call. She said, "Hey, I committed voter fraud. This is how I did it, where I did it, how it all happened. And if you find it, I'll testify to it." We found it. She testified to it. They arrested the incumbent and four other people soon thereafter.
Mm.
And took me 8 months to see a judge, 2 days of trial, 3 months of deliberation, one murder later, and then I was appointed to my seat 364 days to the day of the election. So that's just
Wow.
a quick
Mhm.
background on how I got here.
And so for folks who don't know you, like I've had the pleasure of being in community with you before, but for folks who don't know you, can you say you call yourself Hub City Dre?
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
Hub City is the nickname for Compton. It's
Okay.
just like
See, people
Detroit
don't
would be
know
the
that.
Motor City, or
Okay.
New York would be the Big Apple. Compton's the Hub City.
Okay.
And so I'm the other Dre from Compton, I would like to say to a lot of people. So make it a little easier. I just Hub City Dre, and just it has a Compton ring to it. That started because I had have a podcast studio, and always have had a podcast studio for maybe the last 15 years.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how I got my start in community activism here in Compton.
Perfect. Mr. Chastain, we'll start with you.
How you doing, big brother?
I'm
How
doing
do you
good, bro.
how do you check your own power once you have it? How do you
How
check? How do you
let me
hold yourself accountable? Check your power. We just
you
gonna get
know
into it.
that's a deep one. That's a deep one to start off
He
with.
said, "Damn, okay." Huh.
Yeah. All right. No, in all honesty, man, I am in communication with my community, and I hold them accountable, and I push them to hold me accountable. We do this accountability thing, man, in my community. Some things that I could do to constantly improve the community, some things that I said I was going to do. My community holds my feet to the fire, as I do theirs, because I believe that this goes two ways. I know a lot of people say, "Hey, man, you guys are supposed to fix everything for us," but the truth of the matter is, this is a two-way street. We all have a job to do, and so we
Mhm.
hold each other accountable.
Okay.
Miss Patrice.
So a lot of us know Compton through the entertainment industry or through music. We know Dr. Dre, we know Kendrick Lamar, we know Compton through a very visceral music scene. As far as politics and community, Compton has like history. What does it need right now?
What it needs right now is new leadership, new ideas. In Compton, as you guys know, I mean, like you said, you know the history, what um, what the media says about us, and what the world thinks of Compton. On the flip side, politically speaking, um, in Compton, there's 93,000 residents. There's 54,000 registered voters. The average number of voters is about 7,500 out of that 54,000. The average voter is 66, but the average age is 34.
Mm.
So what we don't have and what we need the most is new ideas, young people getting engaged and having a say in what they want their community to look like. We need our community to be proactive as opposed to reactive. We have this thing where we don't care about politics until politics shows an interest in us, to us. And then that's when we want to get involved. But in all actuality, man, politics is all around us. Government is all around us, and we can't get around it. And so I'm pushing our community to be more proactive and get ahead of a lot of our issues. And honestly, because in Compton we have the voting power, we have the numbers to get ahead of everything. We just don't have the civic engagement that we want to see.
Mr. Fox?
Thank you.
I, as I was listening to some of the things that the brother has under his hat, so to speak, as we say, many people, we wear different hats in this field as we serving the people. I'm wondering, for you, coming from Compton, when I hear about new leadership, I also think about politics, loyalty, things like that start digging up from under the ground. And when people move forward, what happens when politics and loyalties clash on these floors when you're moving forward, asking for this new leadership?
Man, my only loyalty is to the city of Compton. I
Mm.
don't do the politics. I don't do the loyalty thing. Like people that know me know that's kind of where I stand. I took a big stance in shutting down illegal dispensaries. Looking at me clearly, you know that a lot of my demographic didn't like that. But dispensaries have been on the ballot twice, and people didn't vote to have dispensaries in the city of Compton. So legally, I have to do my job in shutting them down. Well, my demographic was pretty upset about it. You know, most of my demographic smoke weed. They want to smoke weed. They want access to marijuana. But unfortunately, they don't want to vote to have
Mm.
it. So
I like what you said about the difference between the marijuana dispensaries. What you said illegal.
yeah,
You went after, and you also drew the contrast of we have an option to vote about what makes these things legal for our people to be able to do it correctly if that's what you want to do. And I like how you drew the contrast of that.
oh yeah, and I even go further than that because the ones that have been here, when I say legal, they don't pay taxes to the city. They're not from our community, and they don't pay the taxes to that community that they're in. And a
Mm.
lot of times, the people that have been arrested and has a misdemeanor or felony for selling that same product now can't even sell that same product again now that it's legal. So I took a lot of different approaches about that. But again, it's once you do it, you have to stand on it and have those conversations with your community. And so those had been the conversations. You know, a lot of my people is fighting to advocate for this marijuana dispensary to be there so they can get the the $15 eighth, or because they had the job as a security guard or they had the job as a bud tender and they're willing to go to bat for these organizations and community and groups that aren't from our community and exploiting our community. So there's a few different angles I took about a few different approaches I took about that. But to get back to your point, it's about the loyalty or um, the politic. And the politic in this is the people voted not to have dispensaries, period. Now, if you want to change that, you have the option to change that by casting votes and letting your voice be heard. So that's an example I can give you from, you know, taking the personal out of the politics.
I love that.
Mm.
And you've been in the news quite a bit lately.
Of course.
Your community, there's some folks from your community saying some things. Do you want to address the elephant in the room in terms of what they're talking about with the city credit
Sure.
card?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, now that the investigation is done, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And so what essentially what happened was there was we got city credit cards, and on those city credit cards they were for travel and for training purposes. Midway through the year, our city management team informed me that we could use our cards to also pay for our events.
Okay.
And that was a big thing for me because I tend to do the most events. Also, in Compton, like we're not good with paying our bills, to be honest with you. A lot of my vendors wait 4, 5, 6 months before they can get paid because of the process of the city issuing out checks. That, as you know, could damage relationships.
Absolutely.
So if I ask you, hey, can you come and show up and do your podcast at this next event? We'll pay you to do it. And then you come out and you bring all your equipment and you do your job. And now you got to wait 6 months to get paid. If you're a small business, that really affects you.
Absolutely.
So when they let me know, hey, you can use your credit card to make those payments, that's what I've been getting to do.
Okay.
And then the first payment I authorized, and at the time I didn't even know I authorized it, but it was during my father-daughter dance. We paid Jason Martin to come out. and he came out. He did the father-daughter dance with me. It was a sneaker ball, great turnout. And then months later, I got accused of getting breast implants and a butt lift because
What?
someone Googled Jason Martin, and the Jason Martin that they found was a medical doctor out in Denver, Colorado, that does plastic surgery. And so they assumed that I had gotten a breast lift, not that
For
I had
who?
hired, not that I'd hired Jason Martin, aka Problem, to do a father-daughter dance with me in
Hmm.
Compton. So that's what started everything. And so ultimately, the unauthorized charges that I was accused of using was for special events,
Right.
not just that event, but other special events that I had done. Um, every year we get about $20,000 to do special events. That's
Mm-hmm.
our budget. So whatever was not authorized to use on that card would come into the budget of special events
Okay.
or whatever other budget it fell in. For me, in this case, it was mostly special events. And so that's what the big
Right.
conversation was. Now, I
Right.
guess
And
since
then,
I'm running for office now and
well,
I
yeah.
guess I'm doing well, that this is this is the other side of it. This is the
Right.
politics.
Right.
So
And so then we saw the city manager. Is he on leave? Was he placed on leave, or something happened with him? And
yeah,
then, of course, the investigation concluded, and they released all these documents, right?
mhm.
And they're trying to paint a specific narrative. Do you think that that's politics at work, or is it just what they're talking about, trying to hold someone accountable?
It's definitely politics. The city manager that we have has been the best city manager we've seen in the last 10 years. He's got
Hmm.
more done in our city than anybody has gotten done. And this was bigger than just the credit card situation. We're talking
Okay.
about an election that's happening. But even deeper, um, they wanted to get rid of the city manager because they believed that it would stop another investigation. Um, back in 2022, this 2021, 2022, the city had gotten ARPA funds,
Hmm.
Hero Pay. It came through during COVID.
Right.
And during that time, the city was debating if they were going to pay their employees a hero pay for
Hmm.
essential workers. Long story short, all of our employees end up getting $15,000. But the council also voted for themselves to receive that $15,000. And there's an illegal there's an issue with that because we can't vote for ourselves to get any type of raise. Otherwise, I'll be making more than $600 a month.
Uh-huh.
And then there was issues with their retirement because everybody on the council is retired except for me. So for them getting that extra $15,000, that had an effect on their CalPERS retirement as well.
Mm.
So that's a whole nother mess that's happening that they're trying to avoid that from coming out. And I think that
I
attacking
guess
the
it's
city
out
manager,
now.
well, it's coming out. I mean, it's the inevitable because we're being audited by the state anyway. So
Mm.
the federal government wants to know what we did with the COVID money. That's and so that's going to come out. It just might not happen before the election.
My
So
goodness.
So
yeah.
I have a question. With what you just said, right?
Mhm.
How do you lead the people who don't trust that system, who don't trust the system?
That's pretty tough, man. The best thing I can do is have the honest and transparent dialogue. I don't trust politics. I never wanted to be in politics. I never wanted, it's not what I wanted to do, bro. I went to school for fashion design. I intended to make clothes, family. Like, that's what I went to school for. This is something new for me. This is something that I obviously I believe God chose me to kind of be in this position and it's kind of guiding my steps on this. So in me trying to understand it, for me it's more conversation, it's more dialogue, letting people know exactly what's happening and why it's happening. But again, politics has been politics for so long, specifically in Compton. No one's trusted for so long, so it's going to take some consistency. They have to consistently see that people are being transparent don't mind having the hard conversations. Don't mind answering the tough questions in the dialogue. We have to do that in order for us to even get people to trust the system again. I
Mr.
hope I
T,
answered your question with that.
did he
You
answer?
did, yeah, yeah.
Okay, what is this is such a rich conversation, and it's so okay. Let me just ask you a question. What's one uncomfortable truth about your city that nobody wants to say out loud?
One uncomfortable truth about my city that no one wants to say out loud. That the city of Compton, by definition, is a suburb.
Oh,
Mm.
The people in it are not.
Mm.
wow.
And I'm talking about myself when I say that. Now, when I say a suburb, I mean, by definition, we're a suburb. We have agricultural land, we have water wells, we have colleges, we got airports, we got railroad tracks, we have industrial area. My goodness, I can tell you, it's nothing that we don't have. We have our own court system, we have our own police stations or fire stations. We literally have everything here. What we don't have is the mentality that says that we are a suburban community,
Mm.
and we don't treat our community as it is suburban. Um, so I think that that is an uncomfortable truth that we don't like to admit and talk about.
Wow.
Or
Man, I listened to you about the uphill battles, which you're going through when you said, I can't remember all the days, so don't let me disrespect the time. You know what I mean? But you remember down to it's been this many months and this many court days and this many weeks with you knew them off the top of your head. I don't want to disrespect them and even count those days. But within that being said, what happens to candidates who challenge the system and lose? Are they supported or shut out? You know what I mean? Because in these fights, we always see the pictures and the rallying up of what's happening when our people go up. But then when we don't see what that person wanted and it didn't go the way they wanted, sometimes we don't see that person no more. But for you, we see you. What happens?
And I just want to be clear on the question. Are you asking like what happens when the system doesn't support somebody that
What happens to a candidate who challenges the system and they lose? What's the next, like, how do you gear back up for the next fight? What will be the next fight? Do you just totally, if you wouldn't have had all those days you was counting because you were still in battle with all those days trying to get your proper spot?
Yeah. And really, man, if it didn't work out for me, I would have had to accept it for what it was. I had already been doing so much community activism already. I'd already done the work. And I had every intention to continue to do all the work that I could do from the position I had been in. So my work had not stopped. It wouldn't stop. I'm not one of those people that showed up that shows up every 4 years when it's time to run for office. I never had been that person. Again, I never expected to be here, but even when I first ran, I didn't run with ideas of what I think I could do. I ran with a resume of what I had already done. And this is the things I had already done before, I even ran for office. So that wasn't going to change if I did not win. However, I do notice that some people, when they lose, they go and regroup for the next 4 years, and they regroup to run again. I don't know if I would have ran again, to be honest with you. It wasn't in my heart to be a politician. Now that I'm here, it's absolutely in my heart to make change in my community. It's absolutely in my heart to implement all the ideas and the resources I can to see my people in a better position tomorrow than they were yesterday. So I love that. But I don't think I would have ever gotten a chance to see that or have that fulfillment if I didn't see this thing to the end and win. I probably would have just went back to podcasting and fighting this fight from a community activist standpoint.
Okay.
So you are running for mayor, and there's quite a few candidates, I'm understanding, right? Including the
Yes.
And so,
True.
as you all are vying for the votes from the people, I see that there are a lot of folks dropping endorsements. So, my question is, are endorsements about values or are they about protecting relationships? What do you
No,
think?
that's good. Cool. That's a good question. That is a really good question. I think the people that make the endorsements are about maintaining relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Endorsements, what I've noticed, are only important to Compton people when they can relate to the person that's giving the endorsement. We
Okay.
don't we don't tend to put a lot of faith in people we don't know, that we don't have access to, that just has a name or take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just be a little bit more direct. The people I'm endorsed by live, work, and have careers in Compton. The people that are that endorse my opponents are uh, they're politicians.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they
Like you tread lightly.
I'm trying to tread lightly on this because none of them are from Compton.
Okay.
They all benefit from people from Compton, or the benefits of Compton. They benefit from the people of Compton,
Mm-hmm.
um, but they have not been as active in our community,
Okay.
and not people that you can hold accountable for showing up. And I think residents know that. And so if they know that you haven't shown up for my community, whether you the senator, the assemblyman, the whatever, if you have not done anything for our community directly, then our residents don't respect your endorsement.
Mm.
That's Compton. That's just how we
Okay.
are. Like, if you're not for us, you ain't for us. And it don't matter how many pictures you took
What
in
they
our
say,
community.
Compton
We don't
versus
care.
everybody.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I hear that.
uh, Mr. Testing.
Hey, so I got good talks, brother. Good talks. So, do you think party loyalty sometimes comes before community needs?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, man, I'm straight up. There's no way in the world that anybody should be endorsing the current mayor. She has been in office for over 20 years and does not have one thing to point to that she's accomplished. I've accomplished way more in the last 4 years than she has in 20 years.
Hmm,
So if you're choosing to support that or endorse that, then I'd have to question, what do you want for the city of Compton?
I like it.
I like what you said. Right. Let's go back because we were saying that there's a person by. So if we have a mayor who's been there 20 years, then I must ask: does the community, when we're coming from the endorsement, do you value? Are you investing in the person or the product?
So are you asking me?
What do you think
What
the
I
city
think
of
they're
Compton is endorsing? If we're talking and saying this is what we want for our city, and you're saying what type of endorsements you're going, you're saying most people for Compton, they tend to roll with somebody who is from said community. To me, that means that I'm voting for the person. I know you, bro. You may have a couple flaws, but I can deal with you and your flaws because you're from my community. I can deal with yours. Versus somebody from outside of my community, that's a product. I'm
Right.
wanting you to come in. We want to see what we're going to invest off into. And when you're making these two decisions, pushing forward as a community, I'm looking for what's better for my community moving forward. Our current person, you've already been doing it, and you're saying hey, you ain't got nothing done in 20 years. So what do I really want for my community if I'm making my vote? Do I want things to stay the same, or am I willing to go outside of where I'm at and let something outside to come in to make my to advance my people moving forward? What do you
Some
think Compton is looking for when we have a mayor that's been there for 20 years like that?
some people are looking at personalities, what they do and don't like. Some people want access. Um, I might not think that this person can get much done, but I know that they're going to respond to me. I know that
Mm.
when I need something, they're going to be there for me. And you get those people that want to kind of constantly keep those same people in office. Furthermore, people like to vote for people that look like them. Um, and you don't always expect them to, you don't always hold them accountable for having a plan
Yeah.
because they're comfortable with who they are. It's the people that you're not comfortable with that the plan has to be on point. Like for me, my plan's got to be on point. I got to have a clear vision. I got to know exactly how I want to do it, where I want to do it, when I want to make a left turn, when I want to make a right turn, hit the U. I got to know exactly when and where, how. That is the expectation from a lot of people, but I'm the only one that has actually put out a plan, a vision for the city. And I ask people like, well, what do you expect from, what do you, how are you holding them accountable for showing up for the community?
Yeah.
And when I say the current mayor, like she's been the mayor for the last 5 years, but she
Right.
was council person 2 terms before that, and then she was on school board prior to that. So all of those years combined is roughly
Right.
about 20 years.
Yeah.
So when I say that, I'm not just saying as a mayor, I'm saying as a council person and as a school board trustee. It's just not much that you can point to say that you've accomplished.
Mm.
So,
And well,
and if you're asking what are people looking for, people just want access. I mean, not even a lot of people are asking about the plans or what you want to do. They a lot of people that actually vote, they want to just know that they have access. And
and
I
what does that
respect
look
it.
like? What does that look like in terms of access? You mean just bypassing the system to go and get what they want when they want it, or what do you mean by they want access?
Whatever it is that means at that time.
Okay.
So if that means that you can just give me a call and say, hey, I'm pissed about ABC, or I feel like I hate that there's so many street vendors. You guys need to do something about that. Or, people will call you and give you a complaint and expect you to move on it just because they feel that, hey, I voted for you. I supported you and you should just move on what how
Yeah.
I want you to move.
Can I reframe what you just asked?
Uh-huh.
Because when I hear access, I hear two types of access. Because there's
Sure.
a level of access I want too when I'm supporting somebody. For example, what we were talking about Says Summit. When I support Miss Patrice up there, I come to Says Summit. We doing our thing. When I do want access, but I also want to access as team too. I want to know when I'm coming for you that as give me access to know where's the water behind the team. How do I help you as well? Some people want access for phone calls, and then some want access because they're community partners. We want to know what we're doing, where do we need to be, how do we also attach mental health to this and the homeless to that and the jails to this with the schools to that and event to that. You know what I mean? And so
That's the access that you should want, because now you're bringing something to the table and saying, hey, we have mental health resources, we have job placement, we have all these different resources and we want access. That's different. Now, I get you. That's the access that you should want. And by all means, that's the access that I want to bring to the table. When I made that statement, I mean just the access on just calling me to get around the system, calling me to get a favor done, that type of access. And that's the access that the average voter wants. And let me go back to this. I don't want to throw stones or make anything sound any kind of way, but the average voter, again, is 66 plus years old.
Yeah.
So access for them is different than access that you just mentioned. The access you just mentioned typically comes from Gen X, Gen Z, the millennial. It's a different demographic that has that wants access for the resources because they want to bring in the resource, because they want to partner. I do that all day long. I partner with so many people. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't have gotten anything that I've gotten done if I didn't partner. Like, Andre didn't expunge 700 people of their record. Like, that was done through partnership. Andre didn't get 250 people employed. That was partnership.
Right.
So that goes down to that. I do that all day long with gang intervention, with job placement, with housing, with so many different resources. I do that all the time. That's access. And that's the access that I'm interested in doing. That's what I want. Calling me to say, hey, I need to get this done, or I need to get around this. I'm not for that. And I'm also, and I told you guys before, I'm about holding my constituents as accountable as I want them to hold me. It's like iron sharpens iron in this case.
Word. I have a question.
Sure.
So Compton, I'm going back to my first question a little bit. Compton has shaped Black culture globally, right? Through music, through activism, through art and sports. How do you preserve that cultural legacy while moving the city forward? And then I guess it's a two-part question. What does success in Compton look like 4 years from now under your leadership?
All right, to go back to answer your first question. there's so many successful stories from Compton, so many successful people from Compton. You said it in music, it's in entertainment, it's in the arts, it's all over the place, and everybody in the world celebrates Compton and the people that come from Compton. The only people that don't are the people that live in Compton.
Mm,
I
Wow.
would love to have a Compton Walk of Fame.
mm,
I want to do it right on Compton Boulevard. I want actual stars embedded into the ground. I want them to have some type of QR code to where you can scan it and then you can get a bio. You can get the videos, you can get the music, you can get the movies, you can get a full detail on who this star belongs to.
mm,
Um, I want that on. I mean, we have so many people from the Dr. Dre's, the Kendricks, the Venus, the Serenas, the George Bushes, the Kevin Costners, the Ava DuVernays, the Tayshaun Prince, and Richard Shermans. And I mean, we can go down this whole list. We can do this literally all day long.
mhm,
And we can
mhm,
load Compton Boulevard up. That gives us more national notoriety. Everybody wants to come to Compton, but it hasn't been anything to see and visit and take in that is
mm,
Compton. I want us to get us prepared for the Olympics. I think that a Compton Walk of Fame could set us up for bringing in museums that, again, speaks to our stories. Bringing in businesses. I love for Ava DuVernay to come here and bring a movie theater to where we can theme it after her and we can show her movies, or we can kind of inspire young film makers to even get involved. Same thing with DeMar DeRozan, just bringing his basketball camp to the city of Compton and giving kids another avenue. These are all different things that we can capitalize on the people that have come from here. We can celebrate them, and then we can build businesses through their own platforms, if you will.
mm, mm.
So I think that answers both of your questions.
I mean,
It does.
how do you say all that? Are you worried about people taking your idea and making it come to fruition and leaving you out?
Um, I put these ideas and visions out there, man, and if someone can get it done, by all means, get it done. You know, um, I don't think that nobody can do what I can do. I don't think that nobody can bring my vision to life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that God only called me to do what He called me to do. But however, if someone sees that to be a benefit to their community or my community, and they bring it up.
Uh-oh. Did it did did his phone die?
It got hot.
One of the things I liked about what the brother was talking about Compton, you know what I mean? And just speaking about culture here, I didn't know Compton was a suburb.
Me neither.
We always
I got a phone
Oh,
call.
there you go.
Okay,
Okay.
there we go, brother.
What happened?
It was a phone call that came in. I was like,
Oh.
yeah, it reset us over here. I'm sorry.
Okay. I was just saying one of the things I liked about what you were saying earlier, man, was when we was asking about a fun fact about something nobody knew about Compton. I remember seeing some footage of Africa, and people was always saying, we thought Africa looked like that. And so when you said Compton is a suburb, and actually we got this and we have that and we have, these are things we should be proud of as a community. And you spoke and you was like, no, we actually have railroads and we actually have this and we actually have suburb and we actually have everything. What we need is better leadership. But I looked, and that framed Compton in a whole different way of Compton. They just no ghetto play. That's our people is over there and they live and they have set some stuff up, and our people need some better leadership, and they've been over there living. We got a suburb out here. I didn't know we had it. I was that was not.
When are
good
we
fun
gonna
fact.
see a movie with that in it though? Because we seen like I don't know.
Right now, if you go to Amazon Prime and you watch a TV show called Them, THEM, you watch season 1, it is filmed in white Compton, back in the early 50s when Compton was completely white and they didn't let black people buy houses here in Compton. You saw the suburban Compton in that.
Them.
It's actually a pretty good TV series. But it shows you what Compton looked like prior to,
they show us
NWA.
they show us menace to society.
Right.
Yeah, man, they do. Compton has a lot of black history, man. Compton had the first black mayor elected this side of the Mississippi. His name was Douglas Dollarhide. That man brought in the first black police chief, Tom Cochet, and he brought in the first black superintendent.
There we go. Tell me something else about Compton besides Dr. Dre.
Bro, we got, man, we known for our agriculture. That's historically speaking, we're known first for agriculture.
Really?
Then for our aeronautical contribution to America.
I like that.
Yeah, we have a lot of history here. A
And
lot.
no diss to Dr. Dre either. Just we didn't know. Like I said, I'm liking hearing this history about Compton like that. You speak of it in ways that we can all be proud of.
Yeah.
Well, you were
Thank
just at the groundbreaking at Centennial, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then you were at the one at Compton High School as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
And
supporting
so
the school
you,
district.
the school district is being kind of highlighted for their distinguished service and the way in which they serve students within Compton in terms of school districts as a whole. And then you have these two schools. Compton High School just was built. Dr. Dre was there, and then I just saw the groundbreaking over at Centennial where you had will.i.am, Kendrick Lamar, and Dr. Dre representing there along with the city leadership. So what
Right.
do events like that do for the community as a whole?
I think it inspires the entire community. Compton's we've seen Compton go through so many transitions, but not all of them have been the nicest, the most
Mhm.
attractive transitions. Now that we're seeing this happen, I mean, uh, it brings another level of pride. I think for the seniors, it does bring a level of I seen them a little sad, a little disheartened that
Mhm.
they tore down the old buildings of Compton High. They really did not. They really was against that. But um, just the aside from that, I think the community loves to see that the city is moving forward, that we're building brand new high schools. Um, our public safety is directly tied to our youth. As you know, you have with all the gang violence and things like that. So to be able to give them new high schools with more resources and more opportunities just kind of gives us hope for the future of Compton.
And as mayor, what more do you want to see? I heard the Walk of Fame. You got your school district is doing their part to insulate young people. But I'm inspired by the mayor out of Baltimore, Brown and Scott, and him
Yes.
like investing more dollars towards prevention services or youth services to kind of curb the tide of violence. Are you thinking about, I don't know what your plan says because I haven't had a chance to read it, but in your plan, are you talking about investing those youth dollars or
I
those dollars
absolutely
towards youth?
am. I've already started to work on that with my expungement clinics. I've done 7 expungement clinics since being in office. Again, we've gotten close to 700 people expunged of their misdemeanors and felonies, another 250 employed, another 125 housed. We've helped people with DUIs. We help people with their child support issues, um, traffic tickets, all of those different things. For me, that's public safety. It's investing in our youth. It gives people a second chance, gets the monkey off of people's backs.
Mhm.
Uh, and so when you do that and you give people a fresh new slate, a lot of times they do better the second time around than they did the first time. Um, I think people just want opportunity. We have uh, some youth programs that kind of gets them ready for the workforce. It's workforce development programs that we have for the youth. Small business programs where we just kind of encourage or we give our small businesses the resources that they need to scale their businesses. So we're doing that on various levels. That is my form of public safety because I don't believe in over policing our community. We realize that it doesn't work. Um, I think the only way we're going to see a change in our community is if we provide that particular change. No one's going to come save us. We got to
Mm.
save ourselves. And so it's having those conversations. It's kind of cutting back on policing our community and just providing our community with the opportunities that they need to succeed, as opposed to trying to figure out how we can lock them up.
Oh no,
Um, I-
that's
I've gone to several parks. Like when I was campaign, like they was telling me, "Hey man, I hate to have to go to the neighboring park, the park in
Mm.
the 2 cities over because my parks are infested with transients or gang infested or it's this, it's that, it's unsafe." And they were 100% right. Luders Park had human feces in the playpens. It had
Mm.
used needles in the playpen. Uh, So it's one of the first things I did. It's the first thing I addressed. We got the whole park revamped. You know, we got a brand new play apparatus. We got a brand new gymnasium. I talked to the Ludus Park Pyrus over there. We kind of come to some agreement where they kind of chill on hanging out at the park, and when they do, they hang out in certain areas. I kind of keep a low profile. They clean up after themselves. Same thing with the transients. They only hang out on the other side of the tennis courts now because that's kind of their space. They clean up after themselves. They come through the park and clean the park at night because everybody has respect. You start to show people respect and you get respect. When you're talking about a community like this and people want to clean up the parks, the first thing they want to do is send the police, get rid of the drug dealers, get rid of the gangs, get rid of the transits. And the truth of the matter is, everybody's a part of this community. Everybody. The gang member is a part of this community. The drug dealer is a part of this community. The drug user is a part of this community. We can't kick anyone out. We got to figure out how do we coexist in that same space. And once you start to show respect, you get respect and you get the results that you want. I've been able to do that at Ludus Park, been able to do that at Wilson Park, did it at Cesar Chavez Park. I've hosted full festivals and after parties and concerts at the parks with no security. I mean, sheriff refused to show up, you know, but because of my relationship with the Crips in that neighborhood or with the Pyrus in that neighborhood, we were able to maintain the community, keep a safe environment, and everybody had a great time and everybody went home safe. And so I know that my community can do it. We just need the opportunities.
Wow.
Word.
I'm sorry, I'm long-winded, y'all. I was
No,
just-
you're
No,
good.
you're good.
You have put a lot of stuff out here, brother, and we appreciate what you have brought to the table. You spoke on Compton's history and respect, right? But what is, because respect takes a little time, what is something that Compton needs right now? What is something that it needs right now to be the community that you want it to be?
Compton needs to know its history. When you know where you come from, you tend to move differently. When you know your history, when you know your background, when you know what your last name is, when you know what your culture is, when you know where you come from, you tend to act and move differently. There's so much rich history in Compton. We're just stuck on the gang activity. We're stuck on the rap music. We're stuck on "Don't mess with me, I'm from Compton." I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, you know. But in our minds, we've conditioned ourselves to think that this actually means something. And it does, because you make it mean something. Right. You know, and it's changing that mentality. When I start talking about our history, when I start connecting cats gangs to Compton's cultural history, they like, man, I had no idea, or I didn't even know that, or you know, and then it makes them look at themselves different, makes them look at their culture different. When I told a dude when he got his Compton tattoo, I said, "He got a white man tattooed on you." He's like, "Wait a minute, what you talking about?" But then we can talk about it. Yeah, he was, I tell you all about him, how he got here, his religious background, and you know, you can learn more about it. Then you start to think differently. When you know that our history is rooted in agriculture or aeronautical history, you like, wait a minute, we got more. It's more than just Bloods and Crips. It's more than just NWA. It's more than just F the police. We really got some history here in Compton, and so many types of different people. Like, we're so diverse, and we don't even talk about that in our own community. Like, half of my childhood, I was at my grandmother's house. I'm on a half-acre of land. There ain't no sidewalks over there. It's because it's the country. In the backyard, we got horses, we got pigs, we got cows, sheep, donkeys, chickens, rabbits, like geese. This is all in my backyard. Like, nobody knows that in Compton. You wouldn't even expect that in Compton. Like, one of my fondest memories is my mom running down the street chasing down a cow, bringing it back by its horns. Like, I saw that on Compton streets. Like, these are things that people don't know about Compton and how diverse the community is. So I think once we have those conversations and we talk about it, and people can have more pride, and their pride is deeper than just gang activity or gang related, then they tend to move different. They tend to have a little more pride in themselves and their community.
Word. Can I jump in, sis?
Of course you
Um,
can.
Speaking about diversity, Compton has been both historically Black and increasingly Latino. Like, how do we build a future that honors Black legacy while creating authentic solidarity and shared power access across Black and Brown communities?
Watch this accountability right here. Stop selling your grandmother's house.
Come on.
Boom.
Stop selling your grandmother's house. No one's kicking you out of the city of Compton. You are leaving. I hate having the conversation where it's like, yeah, how do we keep Black people here? How do we stop people from, gentrifying, or like that's us leaving. Like I know too many families that sold their grandmother's house, that sold their family's business as soon as somebody died because they don't get along with their brothers, their sisters, their aunts, their uncles, and it's so much of that. Those are the things that we got to start addressing. I'm not mad at the Latinos for living all in the same house and stacking their money and buying the house next door. I'm mad that you won't do it. So those accountability.
Yeah.
Again, I'm like all about the accountability side. Stop looking and to point the finger and say, hey, this is our community. This is what we want to do. This is our play. And this is our community. Like, you got to say that. First thing we want to do as soon as we get some money is leave.
Right.
Why? Like, right
Because
now
we didn't know
live.
Compton was a suburb, bro. Like,
Man, look, you've been living in this raggedy mansion for the last 20 years. Yeah, the doors is coming off the hinges. Yeah, the pipes might be a little busted. The electricity might be messed up, but it's your mansion.
Yeah.
So you want to sell your part to go and rent somewhere else because they got a newer, more modern apartment? That doesn't make sense.
That was a little hard though to swallow. I mean, I remember going through a few things that was going on out there, and I remember some of the things that happened like that was forcing some of the residents to move when gang culture was going on was. Not just the fact that a lot of the Blacks, they wasn't wanting to sell their grandma's house. Some of the stuff with them houses being shot up by other cultures and by a large amount, and being left unprotected because there was a lot of males were being locked up, and we can go on to the history of that. But
absolutely,
that gang culture of the houses being shot up by as they forced Black people to move out of there as well. It wasn't just the fact that they wanted to sell their grandma's house. Some of them did not have the viable means to protect themselves in a house where a gang war was actually going on, which forced them to have to move out of there.
No, you're 100% right. And my answer wasn't. I mean, it's not a blanket answer. I don't think there is a blanket answer.
I just wanted to know somebody. I'm in well with those communities too. Just, those are our peoples, man. They was displaced because of that, because of those gang wars. A lot of our people, California wide, have been displaced because of gang wars. But in Compton specifically, and especially when you're talking about what's visible out there. When we're speaking of leadership, Compton was visible to the world sometimes because, like you said, the world knows Compton. What does the world know Compton as? So then it can be given a negative connotation of Compton could be the leader of some type of aggression. You know what I mean? An aggressive movement, because what's visible versus what you were just talking about. What's the actual leadership of Compton? You just spoke up, man. I seen them riding the bullhorns down the thing. The horse, they don't know. It's chickens, it's ducks, it's real life community over here. It's real life members. It's heartfelt people over here. The Compton didn't just stop up and just say, "Hey, we had a rap here and dropped Dr. Dre, and now we want some politics." No, this community really came from something, and it's really had real life hardships too.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, we know that the system has been specific to target our community, whether it be with the gangs, it be with the drugs, it be with all kinds of different things. We definitely have been targeted in our community. So I don't want to take away from that, but we also played into those stereotypes and those things as well. So it's a double-edged sword, and I'm speaking for myself too. Like, we all play a part in this. And so I just want us to say, hey, like, let's not use it as the excuse. Let's take accountability and figure out what we can do to fix it. I talk to gang members all the time. I was like, bro, y'all been warring for 25, 30 years. Your side died, they side died, your side went to jail, they side went to jail. 30 years later, who's winning?
Hmm.
And nobody has an answer for that because nobody's winning. We
Hmm.
all losing. And so now we realize that we're fighting we're playing a game that we only lose in. You got to be willing to change the game now. I get it. I've been fighting with them for 30 years. Yeah, they took my auntie, they took my uncle, they took a couple of my homeboys. But how do I stop it today so it doesn't happen to my kid tomorrow?
Right.
Yeah.
Or my
Yeah.
grandchild or my nephew tomorrow? And we're so caught up on what happened yesterday that we don't even think about what our future could actually look like. But that's trauma. And that's
Mhm.
something else that we need to address because we have compound trauma.
Hmm.
And my mama my grandfather done been through some stuff that he'd never dealt with, and he passed it on to my father. My father done been through some stuff and where he just passed it on to me. Now I
Mhm.
can't sit in a restaurant with my back to the door because I don't even know why. Something happened to my grandfather, I guess. So
Yeah.
so now I can't even sit with my back to the door. So it's just the constant compound trauma that we put on ourselves, that we have to discuss and start to talk about.
Yeah. And can I ask something? Because there seems to be this ideology. Folks say that, oh, we just need to have more Black folks in leadership. Like some folks from the community will say that. Now, Compton is an anomaly because y'all are basically visible at every level of government. And he doesn't
Mhm.
say else. He must be getting another phone call.
Mhm.
And what I found so intriguing when I went to Compton, like their whole school board, Black.
Yeah.
Okay,
City council,
can you hear
Black.
me?
Yes, we
Mhm.
can.
sir.
Hello,
Can you
hello.
hear us? Uh-oh.
He might have to go out and come back
Might.
in. Yeah. The whole city council is almost Black. You
The
know
whole
what I
city,
mean?
yeah.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, can you
Yep.
hear us? I can hear you. Oh Lord. Okay, well, while he tries to get reacquainted with his stream.
We're gonna have to
All
send
right,
them.
I'm gonna disconnect and come back. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear you.
Okay.
I
But
got one more question too, since I want to get off. We needed him
and
on here
fellas,
for
y'all
2 hours.
5:31.
We go,
5:31. Yeah, we could
Oh,
keep
shit.
going and going and going
Miss
because
Patricia, thank you, Miss Lorraine.
can y'all do something with the air conditioning? Because I'm feeling like Coco in here. I feel like I'm getting hot flashes. Isaiah was
Kavanaugh.
over there fanning himself.
Shout out to Miss Coco and Miss Melissa who wasn't able to participate with us today. That we know they tired and resting well.
Yeah, Melissa got a
Yes.
test tomorrow, so we're sending her good vibes. But yeah, that's one thing that I noticed about Compton because up here in Northern California, we're barely visible.
Right.
And to have a school board that looks just like you, to have a city council that looks like you, to have folks in other offices or other designations that look like you.
Mm.
It's I can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Last thing I heard was you said Compton is an anomaly. That was the
Compton
last thing
is
I
an
heard.
anomaly because you guys have basically visible Black leadership at every level. Your school board is Black. Your city council is Black. And I used to be under the impression, like if we just had more visibility, if we just had more leadership from Black folks, we could be able to change things for the better. Do you think that that's been advantageous, or do you think it's been kind of a hindrance because all skin folk and kinfolk? I'm just gonna say it like that. Mm-hmm.
There you go. All skin folk and
Okay.
kinfolk. You really, the content of a person's character is everything.
Yeah.
We've had great Latino, Caucasian, Asian leaders.
Mm-hmm.
We've had great Black leadership. We've had trash Black leadership. We've had trash Caucasian, Asian, and Latino leadership. We have to judge people based off of their character, their heart, and who actually is going to be there for you. We've been sold out by our own people so many times. I don't want to sit here and be like, yeah, it's got to be somebody Black. And Latinos will probably feel the same way at some point in time. At some point that they may feel the same way, and so forth and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm big on the content, the character. Like get the character of that person and understand that their heart and what they really want for themselves and their community.
Yeah.
Word.
Miss Patrice, you had one last question because we're gonna let you go because
Yes.
we don't want to take up too much of your time. We're almost at that hour mark.
Yes.
Ms. Patrice.
Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't ask a question related to education. And one of my favorite scholars right now is Jarvis Givens. He's from Compton, California, and he is currently a professor at Harvard, teaching African American studies. In his he has, several books out, but two of the books that I'm referencing quite frequently right now are Fugitive Pedagogy and American Grammar. And Jarvis Givens really reminds us that Black communities have always created forms of education like rooted in survival, resistance, and freedom, even within oppressive systems. What would it mean for Compton to build institutions that not only serve Black and Brown communities, but actually learn from them?
Wow. I love that question because I believe that once you do that, you force people to learn about other people's culture.
Mhm.
And that Black and brown divide is not there as much once you understand we have so many similarities.
Right.
So many similarities. Our history crossed paths. I think it was the first or second president of Mexico, Vicente Guerrero, I believe is his name, of African descent.
Mm.
The Olmec heads that was found in Mexico is of African descent. And you start to talk about these different things, and you learn more about the cultures, and you realize, hey, we got a lot of similarities.
Hmm.
And maybe we was probably one of the same people at some point in time in our history. And so once you start having those conversations, you realize, man, we ain't much different.
Hmm.
And you respect other people's culture, and it might change how we treat each other. It might change how you treat your own people.
Hmm.
Again, once you learn more about yourself and your own history, and you get that pride, you feel different about yourself. And then as with action, you're going to feel different about other people as well.
Right. Right. Thank you for that.
And
Yeah.
we certainly thank you for spending some time with us today. I know we got to get going because it's 5:36. We're a little
Yeah.
bit over. But is there something you want to say to your community? Because I know the ballots have already gone out. The primary is officially June 2nd. So is there a message that you want to send to your community right now?
Again, there is 54,000 registered voters, 7,000 active voters. The average voter is 66. The average age is 34. If you want to see your community move forward, you have to engage. And by the numbers alone, young people, this city could be yours if you exercise your right to vote. Exercise your right to vote June 2nd.
And so we want to partner with you to make sure we get some Compton representation up here at our legislative open house where we teach young people how bills become laws and how they enact that in their communities. So we want to make sure that we get some kids from Compton so we can help light that spark, because it only takes one person to plant the seed, and then we can see it flourish if multiple people begin to water it. And so we want to partner with you and Denzel Perry. Or Micah Ali, to send some kids from Compton so we can start to reinforce that into them. They need to get active, because a lot of folks, they say, I don't do politics, but politics does them, whether they want it to or
yes,
not.
It does.
And I'm gonna be like Ice Cube and say, with no Vaseline. So we have to be very, very clear on what we're asking young people to do. We have to give them something to vote for. Politics is an exchange. It is not a gift. That means if you want young people to kind of get into the system, you have to give them something to look forward to. So hopefully we can get that into the works and see how we can get them up here to the state capitol so we can start planting those seeds, sir.
I am definitely open to that and would love to partner with you guys and send some of our kids up there. You got me sold on that.
Fantastic.
100%. Thank you again, though, guys, for having me on your platform. It means everything. You guys just take the time to want to talk to me, because you didn't have to.
Of course.
And you share your platform. So thank you.
Well, thank you for spending the time. Sis, thank you for popping in. I know you guys had a heavy lift over the weekend, and we're going to just keep doing the work because, you know, all it takes is one conversation to light that spark. So with that, we're going to hit y'all with the peace sign. Join us next week for episode 3 of our pre-primary blitz. Dr. Flojean Kaufer will be here next week. She's running for Sacramento County supervisor, and we can't wait to get into that discussion. So we'll see y'all next week. Peace out.
Peace.